Hi, everybody. Thanks for joining us for this postgraduate diploma in business analytics and intelligence webinar. So we have Dr. Suresh Varadarajan with us. Let me give you a brief introduction about him. Dr. Suresh Varadarajan is an MTech from IIT Kanpur. He has done his PhD from Marquette University in engineering. So today he is one of our program co-directors. So today's agenda for the webinar is that Dr. Suresh will explain in very brief about the course, and major focus of our webinar will be on the case study, how business analytics and intelligence can be used in retail. We'll also see that what is the content of our starting module, and why we have chosen that content, what's importance of that content that we are starting with. So we have chat window here. So if you have any questions during the webinar, just type your questions in the webinar. We'll answer those. Also, we'll paste our homepage link on the chat, so that if you have any basic queries regarding payment process or anything, just go through that link, and you will be able to get your basic answers. For all specific queries, Dr. Suresh will take those queries from time to time. So over to you, Dr. Suresh.
Thanks, Himanshu, and good evening, everybody, for joining the webinar. What I will do is briefly tell you about the course in the next 8 months, how it will go through, and then talk a little bit about Module 1 uh, and the significance of that, and then briefly talk about then a real application about big data analytics in retail industry, because retail is one of the industries which has adopted this much earlier than others. So we'll see that. Okay, and if there are any questions, please feel free to stop and write, put your queries in a chat window so that we can take it up at the end. Okay. Before that, a quick check. Himanshu, am I audible?
Yes, sir.
Okay, good. Thank you. This course on uh, business analytics and intelligence. Primarily, if you look at this, how it is conceived, uh, it's for working professionals as well as people who have some background in the engineering and sciences, who want to start a career in analytics or data science. This gives a solid foundation. While this is not the be all and end all, what we are trying to do in this course is give a good foundation by discussing key concepts and applications, and then good dose of hands-on experience in R, which is the programming package which we'll be using throughout the course. R being good, very amenable for statistical analysis, which this course deals with. While you may be wondering that there's a lot of statistics and mathematical concepts which are used, we would we have taken care to introduce the concepts in such a way that we start from your graduate or high school mathematics wherever required, and illustrate the concept. We are not getting into details of proving certain theorems or mathematical formulae. That is not the intent of this course. Intent of this course is more application of concepts into business analytics. Traditionally, if you see, if you take the term analytics, what has happened is, over the years, this can be broken up into three. One is the descriptive part, descriptive analytics. Then we have the predictive analytics, and then we have the prescriptive analytics. That is how the courses will move on. Descriptive is what is module 1, primarily deals with data and information related to what has happened in the past, historical data. So based on this, certain inferences or conclusions can be drawn to build up models to move to predictive and prescriptive. So descriptive is all about what collecting data about events, processes, and which have already occurred. For instance, what was my sales in the last 1 month? What is my, what is the now, how many what is my what is my sales, or how many cars I sold in the month of say January to March in this quarter, things like that. Or if you were to say, if you were to look at some other example, how many policies got underwritten in this period. So these are all things which have already happened now. So this would take you, this would give you an idea about historical trends. Necessarily, they may not necessarily drive what is going to happen in the future. Okay? So that is all about descriptive analytics. But what we will be doing in module 1 is see how we would how we go about understanding descriptive analytics. The first and foremost, if you see in analytics, is all about data. So the challenge is to collect understanding data types. See, typically, you could have data which is numeric or which is categorical. So we have to ensure that we understand these data types and significance of them. You can have structured data in tables, formats, spreadsheets, or databases. Unstructured data, typically what you see in social media, text, and web URLs, things like that. So those are unstructured data. How do we handle this? There are tools, some of which we will see as we go on in this course. And once we identify these data sources, how do we acquire these data, and what are the tools and methods? This is very important. We're talking about normal data and we're talking about big data. One of the modules in this course is big data analytics, which will be handled by our colleagues from Arizona State University. Having said all that, as I told you before, we'll be using the R package to do all the manipulation and to do all statistical analysis and also come up with certain inferences. So, uh, so what will happen? What we have included here is we have included some typical large data sets. How you will import them into R, how you will classify them, how you will analyze the various things. These are the things. And data visualization is very, very important. Data visualization is how do you present data? Let us say, for instance, I mean, in a large company, the data, I mean, at the end of the quarter, the top management would look at certain figures, whereas the middle management would look at certain figures. So they have to roll up. So visualization of this, it's a visualization helps you, gives you a pictorial representation of the data or the summary data or information, which will help you understand why certain things happened in the past quarter or past year and things like that. So we'll talk about data visualization in detail. Various things. You can have a pie chart, histogram, box plot. Each one has certain significance. When do you use these tools? When do you use these representations? All those things will be a part of the data visualization. And finally, descriptive statistics. Descriptive statistics consists of basically understanding. See, we are talking about data sets. So number of so there would be more. There would be there would be a case for identifying what is the average or average value of an order. Say for the last 3 months, last quarter, we had about 500 orders. You would like to see the average value of the order. So measures of central tendency, mean, mode, and median. How do you handle that? Some of which you may have studied or familiar in your undergraduate programs earlier. So basically, we'll take that, and that's important because to make some decisions. And then the other one is measures of variation, which is basically the standard deviation, variance, and things. So this first module is primarily setting us up into how do we prepare the data in a meaningful way where we can carry out analysis and draw some conclusion. And based on that, the second module is about building models. So it's the inferential statistics, which will lead us to the predictive part, which will be module 3, things like that. Okay. So this is about module 1. And what we have done here is we have videos which cover the concepts in detail, taking into account a diverse audience with different backgrounds, and also there's a healthy dose of illustrations in different industries, how these things are used. And also these are illustrated. We have taken one or two large data sets. See, the key thing is smaller data sets can be easily handled by spreadsheets and other tools. A large data sets where you need quick manipulations and things like that, where you need to use packages like R. So that is where these things come in handy. So we have taken one or two illustrations, large data sets, and illustrated all this. Okay.
Very well, Dr. Suresh. So, sir, will you now proceed with the case study, or
Yeah. If there are any queries, I'm willing to take now, or I can go
so
whatever.
as of now there is no query. We'll take them at the end.
Okay.
So, for the case study, can you please share your screen?
Yeah. Is it visible?
Yes, sir. It's starting. Yes, sir. It's visible, completely visible.
Okay. Um, as I said before, the idea of choosing retail industry was one that you all know it's a highly competitive industry with wafer thin margins and large number of players globally. The big retailers like Walmart, Sears.
Hello.
Yeah, yeah. Can you hear me? Hello.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Continue, sir. Your sound
Yeah.
was not well.
Can you hear me?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay. So what I said was, I just said that the choice of choosing retail as a case study was retail industry globally is a very competitive industry with large multinational players. I mean, before the onset of the e-commerce players, Amazon, some other companies, we had all these brick and mortar companies like Walmart, Sears, Best Buy for electronic and consumer appliances. Then you had Tesco in the Europe and other this thing. And within India, you had, of course, there was, I would call, organized retail started late, but then you had those things like Big Bazaar, Reliance Digital, Chroma, all these things. And then within the last 10 years or so, you've seen the onset of the e-commerce players like Flipkart, Amazon, and others. So whatever it is, end of the day, the is highly competitive and large number of players, and the margins are very thin, and also there is constantly changing preferences of the customer. If I am not able to get I need something. If I'm not available in one source A, I will definitely go to another store B. So definitely there is a missed opportunity for store A because he didn't anticipate the customer preferences for order. Constantly innovating with differentiated offerings. So, what is the driver for this innovation? Primarily, what should I do? Let us say, I mean, there must be. I mean, if I need to, if I'm bringing new offerings to the customer, I need to know that the customer there were would evince interest, and there will be attraction and conversion. So for this definitely there needs to be a lot of uh, analysis with the data, and then deriving insights, and then coming up with a clear offering. Like I mean, there are a number of things like company. I mean, here we are talking about an experience basically. It could be. It's not necessary only that the customer goes and buys a product. It is as he enters a store, what is his experience, how much time does he spend, and what other products he looks for. All these things, customer buying behavior is very very important, right from the moment he enters the store and uh, makes a purchase or goes back. So everything can be tracked today and the data can be collated. And then the other thing is early adopters of big data. These, so retail industry was one of the early adopters of big data predictive analytics. We'll see a little bit what they did earlier. And then the other thing is availability of information. A lot of decisions need to be made. Which store where should I open a new store in a different area, or what should it be a should it be a bigger store, or it should be only a smaller store selling certain product categories and things like that. So these are all so these are all very, very important. So what is the data we are talking about? Point of sale data. That is, as you make a purchase, so let us say you made a purchase, let's say you bought some hard disk, or you bought some thumb drive, or got a mobile phone, stuff like that. There is a transaction. The transaction data is known as the point of sale data. So that from that you can start building the model, where he bought, when did he buy, whether he paid by cash or card, whether he used EMI, or all kinds of things. All these data can be collected and analyzed. And that's why I said store channel. So it's online, or he went to a Chroma store or Reliance Digital and purchased that, or did he exchange his old mobile phone and got a new one? What was his old smartphone, and what did he buy? Whether the new one was an upgrade to the old one. All these things can be analyzed. So the industry today, there is a clear platform to analyze all this, collect all these data and analyze. You may ask me, why should I analyze all this? Clearly, what I mean, this gives you give better insight into understanding the customer buying behavior. Second thing is, there are products which have been discounted, but customer never bothered to buy them. Instead, he went for the regular products. That means the customer has some impression that the discount pattern is not good, or the products are inferior, what it is. Similarly, the one thing I have not touched is customer returns. How many people returned? Whether the product was defective, why he was dissatisfied. So today there is a clear mechanism by which all this data can be collected and analyzed. Just to give you a perspective, Indian retail market is about $600 billion in 2015, likely to reach 1 trillion. So this is both all the channels I'm seeing, online and other things. So there is a heavy emphasis today by all the retailers to invest in technology, tools, and experienced staff to analyze data. You'll see that in the next slide as we move on. Okay. What are the things which really are, where big data and predictive? One is a sales forecasting and improving customer experience. As I said, what are the products I should have stock? Today, what happens is, if you take organized retail, you have a wholesale, you have the regional distributor, wholesaler, then you have the local retail shop. So what should I stock? Because you have n number of brands. So clearly you can't have everything. So you need to have. So you need to know what. That is one thing. Sales forecasting, and within one is the brand, other one is the product SKU itself. You may have different types. So which one I should have more, which one I should have less, things like that. So clearly the goal is to benefits what you accrue out of doing these analysis using the point of sale data and other geographic and demographic data is benefits are primarily in the increase in revenue share, conversion rate. Conversion rate, what I mean by conversion rate is, let us say in a particular area, there is a promotion or a campaign. So that decision to have that was through some analysis of some data, and you felt that yes, this is a new product or a new category which the customer base. How much you are able to convert? That's what is conversion rate. Orders, basically orders. See, and today we are also looking at things like, suppose in an online retail platform, you may have chosen, you may have selected a few, you may have entered in the cart, you may not have confirmed the order. So that also is important. What it takes to for the customer to make a decision to convert into an order. Behavioral tendencies of customers. This is very, very important. So today you have a lot of data. So where you start mining data, say, let's say you have customer data. Let's say you have people who have purchased a particular brand and a particular product for 1 year. What other things did they buy during that date? So you went into a retail shop, you bought all these things. You bought A, B, C, D, E, different product categories, different brands. So let's say I bought detergent from Hindustan Lever and shampoo from Procter and Gamble and some things like that. So why is it I didn't buy shampoo from Hindustan Lever? So these kind of analysis are done basically to see you understand the behavioral tendencies. Third, identifying loyal customers through personalized recommend. This is one thing which has really emerged out of big data analysis tools. Identifying how to retain customers. How do you retain customers? So either through, so here there are some techniques which we will see in our course. One is the market basket analysis. What really it means is, suppose you buy a product A, you may see very often you will see A and B are bundled together. Product A and product B are bundled together. And you may wonder, hey, there's not any, I'll give you a simple example. Some of them may have relationship. Like for instance, you buy agarbatti, then a matchbox is also attached to that. Or you buy you buy milk. In some cases, milk along with that, certain brand of eggs are given. So all these, how do you analyze? Basically, these things, retailers come to conclusions based on the analyzing, the mining the data, and see. It is not about liquidating some old stock or anything. It's more to do with this. You buy this, and I'm not talking about the other thing, buy one and get one free. That's all, that's separate. Here what I am trying to say is, customers who prefer a particular product are also expected to buy another product. So bundling up in turn makes the time of the customer, it improves the customer experience. He wanted both, so he's able to get that at a fairly competitive price, and things like that. Then targeted marketing and campaigns. This is important. Where I should have targeted marketing to improve. Say for some reason, certain products are not available. People may not know about it. So how I need to do campaigns. Okay. See, it's very difficult to acquire customers. So when you do a campaign, you have to ensure that there are enough footfalls in the retail store, or people at least in online. If you're doing there is an evidence of a customer, the customer or a potential customer reviewing the product. He may order, he may not order. At least you should get him to the store, or you should get him to the web portal where he sees that. That's very important. The last two mainly relate to the operational aspects. Inventory management. As a as a seller, how much I should stock? You can't do that. You cannot. As a retail store owner, you upfront you pay. The more you stock, more money is locked. If you're not able to sell, inventory is about managing optimal stocks at the SKU level. Suppose you have 10 different brands of shampoos, you will have different levels how you stock that. That's very, very important. And within the brand, you will have different types, the anti-dandruff or a protein shampoo or whatever, dry hair shampoo and stuff like that. So how much you need to have all these data, all these the data, how much to stock, are all derived from past sales, what people buying preferences and stuff like that. Obsolescence. It's very important that if there are some products which have come and for one year it is not moved, nobody is buying, there should be a mechanism by which what is the cost due to obsolescence, because that directly impacts the margin of the retailer. So these things can be easily uh, you can take decisions. Suppose when you have to stock certain products, is there an obsolescence index involved in that? So that is one thing. And finally, supply chain management is about basically trying to how much you can negotiate as with the suppliers. Say, let us say there are suppliers. So basically, how you can negotiate based on the price movement and price margin relationship. All these things come under this. So basically, retail industry has lapped onto big data predictive analytics in a big way to take informed decisions so that there are no surprises. There are three things. One, on the customer experience side, a customer comes, he finds that he wanted a product which is not there, that's a problem. Or on the supply side, you get too many things, you stock too many things, which no customer prefers. So you need to have a balance. You need to understand all this. So that is where predictive analytics and big data come in. Okay. So this is what I need. I wanted to say from a metrics perspective. Typically, what has been reported is you may use most of these metrics could be in terms of order conversion rate, sales revenue, obsolescence, and retention. So definitely there has been a significant exponential increases by adoption of these big data analytics. Okay, thank you.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Suresh. You explained very well. So, everyone, not only in retail, business analytics and intelligence have applications in finance also. The financial companies can decide the price of certain services or certain product by analyzing what category of population they cater to. Marketing professionals, as Dr. Suresh mentioned, we can check how loyal the customers are to particular product. We can also track that. HR professionals, they can track that how means what is the employee retention rate, which employee is performing well, what is his productivity. So there are lots of CRM, manufacturing, credit card companies. So there are lots of possibilities to use business analytics and intelligence. So if you have any questions, feel free to write it in chat box. Uh, and till that, I'll explain a little bit about the program. So the program duration is 11 months, and we have partnered with the Arizona State University. So some of the portion from the course will be taught by Arizona State University professors, and initial program will be taught by Dr. Suresh himself and one of our program co-directors, Dr. Karthik. So yeah, so if you have any questions, write it as soon as possible, because we are about to or if not, you can leave your number in the chat box, so our academic counselors will get back to you if you have any general query. So I think no questions. So yeah, thank you, Dr. Suresh. Thank you, everyone. So for the this batch, our upcoming batch will start from 30th of July. We are still open to admissions. So if you want to enroll from this batch, which will start from 30th July, enroll as soon as possible, because only we are left with only limited seats. Okay. So yeah, you can leave your number. Thank you, everyone, for joining us.
Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Suresh.